may have noticed a lot of plumb bow rigs featured in the Captain lately. Don't be put off by their stumpy looks. Some of these rigs can seriously shred, especially these fresh Kiwi models. They're called Innovision, and they're the brainchild of Simon Minoprio. He's super talented and slightly eccentric, apparently a prerequisite for becoming a boat designer and builder these days. Now, Innovision are preparing for a big Australian expansion in the near future. Simon has already got a few boats over here and is planning for many more. But first, we're heading over to Simon's backyard, New Zealand's Hauraki Gulf, to find out more about his rigs.
My name's Simon Minoprio. I'm the owner, founder, director of Innovision Boats. It's all about building dreams. Started Innovision Boats about 11 years ago. I guess I thought there was a niche and a gap in the market to create something quite unique. We've definitely done that. These are very unique compared to any other trailer boat out of NZ and probably Aussie as well. How I came up with this kind of design was I want to cross a Wally boat with a Chris craft. Because Wally boats are pretty, back when I saw them 20 odd years ago, they've been around for a while since then. They're pretty out there. The architecture on them, the superstructures were quite wild, quite edgy. Probably not everyone's cup of tea, but I thought they were sick boats, they're epic. And then I just love the lake boats, you know, the wooden boats for the polished stainless on them, the wine and cheese boats. Yeah, they're beautiful. They're gorgeous boats, plumb bows on them as well. So smushed them together, got an Innovision. I would have said the uniqueness would have been the plumb bow, but it seems like all the boats coming out of Europe now have plumb bows. Well, they had them 20, 25, 30 years ago, but also the plumb bow was around 80 years ago. With the plumb bow, what makes it quite unique and special and different in its dynamics in the water is because it lengthens the waterline of the boat, so you can actually get a bit wider in the back to get a bit of stability. It finds up your entry, so when you're going into a head chop, it sort of more cuts into the waves and your hydrodynamic lift isn't as great. So when you cut in, you get a little bit of extra lift from the buoyancy, and then you get the extra hydrodynamic lift, and then you get the lift off the chines, and so you're not actually, on the conventional bow, you get all your hydrodynamic and buoyancy lift at the same time. So that's typically why a rake bow would lift a lot higher and come down a lot harder, when the plumb bow will cut and its pitching moment is a lot less. So one thing the plumb bow, a lot of people say is you get a bit of bow steer. Yeah, I can imagine you would if you'd carried the keel line a long way forward and then kicked it up. Ours starts coming up a bit sooner. We've got chines that support the front of the boat, so when you are on the broach angle, I've been out some pretty shitty conditions. Like last week we went out on a Wednesday and it was 25 to 35, and we're running downwind at 25 knots, broach angle, and she was all good, you know, going into it was great. So the bow steer, I think it's all very unique to the overall design of a boat, and I think with what we've done here and at this hull, we've actually balanced it quite nicely. It's probably could be better in a head sea if we had less chine, but then on a following sea it wouldn't be as good. So it's just to find that right balance to get the package right, and the big thing is safety. You don't want the boat to do anything, and going downwind in big heavy running conditions is probably the most dangerous conditions. So that was, you know, at the forefront of our design was safety. That's number one. Some of the footage you'll see, we're out at Flat Rock, and there's probably 20 to 25 knots, and we had a good metre to around the metre, a little bit over chop, metre to metre and a half chop, and yeah, it was running pretty hard. So I was going upwind into it at probably about 20 knots, and downwind 20 to 25. One thing is where we get our stability from is because of the plumb bow, we can get wider in our waterline. And that's what you're saying, like the marriage of two designs, the Wally and the Chris craft. The Chris craft has a tubble home at the back. So we're not as aggressive as that, but that means our widest part of our boat's on the waterline, and that's your diminishing point of buoyancy. So you actually can't get outside your diminishing point of buoyancy and get leverage over that to tip the boats over. And the big chine at the back gives you a lot of lift for planing, so they're really economical hulls, but also gives you that stability at rest. The one thing that creates stability in boats is lower centre of gravity compared to the relative buoyancy. In the hulls, we've got two buoyancy chambers full length down the side, so that's from the main longitudinals outboard, and from that there's four longitudinals per side, and frames like every 800 mil. So there's plenty of structure in their hulls, so you can punish them pretty hard. The hulls are really quiet in the water because the surface area of the panels is quite small between frames and longitudinals, and that's what you would have noticed today that you mentioned. It's like, how's it so quiet in the water? And that's a big thing. To me, I want to sleep at night. I want peace of mind that I know my boats aren't going to fall apart, they're not going to crack, and I'm not going to have them rolling back in my factory with repair after repair after repair, week on week, because as the company grows more and more, and as we export to Australia, the last thing I want to do is have to hop on a plane and come fix boats. But if that's what it takes, then that's what we'll do. So back in the day when we built the first boat, it only had two. It was designed and engineered to ABS, so it only had 2 longitudinals per side, 6 more bottoms as we do today. We can't do 8 because of the bow shape. It's got too much tensile strength and we generate too much shape in our hull, so it's not possible. But to be honest, I don't think 8 mil plate would save or actually makes a huge difference. If you had a flat bottom boat and you had 6 mil on it and you put 8 mil on it, yeah, it might make a difference, but you ain't going to beat design and sheer shape in a hull. I think that's the most important thing. People say about the extra weight in 8 mil, but we've got 4 structural members under the deck, so there's probably more weight in that than you would gain in just 2 extra bottom sheets at 8 mil. I think on your standard sort of 6-7 metre boat, it's only like 50 kilos in the bottom, and we've probably got about 75 in the 2 extra longitudinals, because most people run 2 longitudinals per side with 8 mil bottoms. So yeah, and one of the reasons why we don't foam fill, if you hit a log or hit something and you damage the hull, then it's really hard to repair it because you can't weld aluminium with this foam on the backside. What we do with our hulls, the structure, the strength in it, I think we've achieved everything you need to. No, it's not necessary to pump the hulls full of foam, and I think the pontoon guys do it because their pontoons are just 3 mil and they drone and bang and noisy. So one way to dampen that is to pump them full of foam. What boats suit the Aussie market? I don't know, you guys are different. You bloody Aussies. No, you guys are good dudes. No, I think in our range we've got enough that would suit all the styles of fishing the Aussies do, with our centre cab and our centre consoles. The great thing about our centre console is because of our plumb bow, we get the wide waterline and the wider boat, so there's a lot of room in the boat. So our centre console typically is probably almost twice as wide as most other brands. The ones that have the little centre console, which one person sits in behind, so you can actually have 2 people sitting side by side and protected from the wind behind the console, and you've still got like 375 mil walk around the console. You've got full toe kicks around the front of it. It's a awesome, to be honest, it's one of my favourite boats to go fishing in because there's just the fishability of it and the access around the whole outside of the boat. Little step up the front to the casting platform. We got run the cage on the back, so you've literally got 360 fishability. Easy access out the back, and how we rig our engines, a lot of the production guys just hang them all out the back quite high up. We have it all low down, all the hydraulic hoses come out really low down on our setup, so you actually can walk across the back here really easily. And then we've also got like a sedan cruiser, which is this transom come forwards. You've got this transom space has twice the size out the back, so you've got room to fish out the back still, but it's got a big LCT in it, so if you're just sort of cruising around and day boating and stuff, longer hard top on it. So there's heaps of options in our range, and if we don't have that option and you want our hull, we can make that option an option. On this boat, the 808 Venture, the full walk around front, we've gone through the drum winch setups in the front of all our boats now. The full walk around, we've got a seat up the front of it. If your fishing's a bit slow, then you can just chill up the front. Full walk around has toe kicks under the sides, so you actually can lean up against the sides at the front and the whole way down the side of it. A decent walkway, it's about 300 mil wide, 350 I think on the deck. And it comes back, 2 helm seats, nice comfy chairs, bolsters seats, 2 chili bins that rack it underneath them, drawers above them, full custom paint job. All the welds have been, as you can see around the rod holders here, they've all been coved off. There's exploding fish, 360 stainless rod holders on it, and so it's all halo lighting. This is our deluxe bait station, so it's got the full tackle drawer on the front here. So that's a dry drawer, it's got a false front on it, so any spray and water that hits the front of it actually runs off and not goes into the drawer, so it doesn't fill up water. twin Yamaha 200s with the full Hellmaster EX, so it's a pretty nice package. Pushes along between 40 and 45 knots depending on load. We're having a good send on the way back, but it's yeah, it's a twin rig on this 8 metres, actually quite a nice setup. In regards with the electronics, so we've got the full Raymarine. Like, I don't think you could squeeze much more into a boat this size. Got a 19-inch Axiom XL on the dash. There's a 12-inch Axiom mounted on a custom mount at the back of the hardtop, so when you're fishing in the cockpit you can see all that's going on. It's got the Halo 3-foot radar on the top of it. It's also got FLIR night vision as well, so I think it's about a 50 grand package in it, but it's yeah, it's nice and does the job. We're out there today in pretty shitty conditions and had a pretty clear picture. That was real good. So a lot of my boats have ended up with the Raymarine package in them. I think it's a really tidy package. It's user friendly, and I think a lot of that's because of my relationship with Lusty and Blundell, one of my main suppliers. Those guys stand behind what they do, and that's the biggest thing with, you know, saying again, with the product, my suppliers and us, we stand behind our product, we stand behind what we do. From an Australian owner's point of view, yeah, we will hop on a plane if we have to and come over and sort something out. It's just what it is. It's part of building a brand and a business. Biggest sellers are your advocates, and that's the boats, the owners of the boats. You know, if without them loving their product that they've got, then it'll be very hard to grow a brand, I think, in the NZ or offshore.